keep reading. Thing cut me off. I'm using that phone that always cuts me off. So let's see where we at. So there was one of the Jews in the sight of all to sacrifice on the altar, which was at Modin according to the king's commandment. Right? That's in verse 23. Slakia, I didn't have the right verse up. Verse 24. Which thing when Mattathias saw, he was inflamed with zeal, and his reins trembled, neither could he forbear to show his anger according to judgment, wherefore he ran and slew him upon the altar. So Mattathias pissed him off so bad, he ran up and killed the dude that was sacrificing according to the king's commandment, right? He was probably sacrificing some swine's flesh or some wicked thing, you know. And you had that spirit that was on those men, the Judas Maccabees, the group of Maccabees, and Mattathias, who was the father. They were real men. You see, they had a zeal for the Most High, Yahweh. All right, verse 25. And also the king's commissioner who compelled men to sacrifice, he killed at that time, and the altar he pulled down. You hear that? Mattathias, he wasn't having it, to the point where he killed the king's commissioner. He killed the Jew that was sacrificing according to the king's commandment. He wasn't having it, man. And this same spirit we're in, we ain't having it. We're not trying to get down with Esau Edom. We're not trying to, when he mandates his micro C hip and his device that he wants to put in your hand or in your forehead. We're not going to be down with that thing. And again, I said in my last lesson, we've been building our spirit, preparing for this, because there's going to be a day when we're going to have to to make a decision, you know. It says, verse 26, Thus dealt he zealously for the law of the Most High, like as Phinehas did unto Zambri the son of Salom. And Mattathias cried throughout the city with a loud voice, saying, Whoever is zealous of the law, and zealous means passionate, whoever is zealous of the law and maintaineth the covenant, let him follow me. So he and his sons fled into the mountains and left all they ever had in the city. So it reminds me of that scriptures where that talks about when you come in this knowledge, you come in this truth, you got to be prepared to leave it all behind. You know, you got to be prepared to leave your material things. You got to be prepared. Sometimes your woman might be left behind. Sometimes even your children might be left behind. You know, only the ones who walks in the same spirit, you know, are going to be that kind of ride or die spirit. You see. And it's going to be weak Israelites that ain't going to be able to come in this type of spirit, and they're going to be sacrificed on the biggest altar, which is going to be Babylon, America. Okay. Let's see. And like he did, you know, he had to go to the mountains, meaning going off the grid, getting out of the comforts of Modin. They had to go live in the mountains. You know, we might have to do that in this day and age. And remember, we always tell you, nothing new under the sun, man. When the Edomites tries pushing his draconian laws, tries pushing his micro C hip, hey, we're going to have to make some decisions. And we know we're not going to get down with the heathen. We're not going to make covenants with the heathen. We're not going to take the wicked devices of the heathen. Because we're going to be in that Maccabean spirit. See? That rebellious spirit that is not going to, like I said, we'll taste death before we get down with the heathen. See? Verse 30. Both they and their children and their wives and their cattle became afflictions, because the afflictions increased sore upon them. And that's how it's going to be in this time. You're going to be afflicted. It's going to be hard to live. Esau Edom is going to make it hard to live, hard to function, hard to, live everyday life without that micro C hip. You're going to be afflicted if you don't have that micro C hip. So you're going to have to make a decision. And if you're not building your spirit up right now, while you can gather this oil, you're not gathering it, and guess what? you're not going to have no light. You're not going to have no hope. You're not going to have no refuge, because you're going to end up breaking and taking the device of the heathen, the wicked devices of the heathen. See? Verse 31. Now when it was told the king's servants and the host that was at Jerusalem in the city of David that certain men who had broken the king's commandment were gone down into secret places in the wilderness, they pursued after them a great number, and having overtaken them, they camped against them and made war against them on the Sabbath day. You know? And see how wicked the heathen is? They want to go make war on the Sabbath day and and basically sabotage our people on the Sabbath day. That's how wicked the heathen is. And they said unto them, Let that which ye have done hitherto suffice, come forth and do according to the commandment of the king, and ye shall live. See? And that's the same thing. That's the same exact thing that they're going to do in this time. All right? They're gonna try and pursue us. That's why they got the drones. I just saw a few articles. They're about to, police over here in Denver, they're about to start using the drones to deal with police matters. So if they did this in the past and they didn't have drones back then, how much more are they going to pursue us in the time that we're coming into? Jacob's trouble, the micro C-hip agenda. You see? Verse 34. But they said, We will not come forth, neither will we do the king's commandment to profane the Sabbath day. So then they gave them the battle with all speed. Howbeit they answered them not, neither cast they a stone at them, nor stopped the places where they lay hid, but said, Let us die all in our innocency. Heaven and earth shall testify for us that ye put us to get to death wrongfully. So you see, they were acting like men. They're ready to die for the truth. They're ready to die for the zeal of Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai. Okay. So they rose up against them on the Sabbath, and they slew them with their wives and their cattle, and to the number of 1,000 people. Now when Mattathias and his friends understood thereof, they mourned for them right sore. Right? So we're going to have to, we know we're going to go through some shit, man, in Jacob's trouble. Esau he's going to kill our kids. He's going to put that sword on our kids if we don't do the, follow his laws, follow his commandment. But these things, remember, it says in the scripture, everything aforetime is written for our learning. Right? So we're reading this because just to know, hey, we went through this before. We've been here before. All right? As a nation, as a people, So everything's written for our learning, man. This is like basically inspiration for the elect when we read this Maccabees, first Maccabees 2. All right? Let me keep reading. And one of them said to another, If we all do as our brethren have done, and fight not for our lives the laws against the heathen, they will not quickly root us out of the earth. At that time, therefore, they decreed, saying, Whosoever shall come to make battle with us on the Sabbath day, we will fight against him, neither will we die all, as our brethren that were murdered in the secret places. Then came there unto him a company of Assyrians who were mighty men of Israel, even all such as were voluntarily devoted unto the law. See that? Also all they that fled for persecution joined themselves unto them, and were a stay unto them. So now, because they were staying in that righteous spirit, the Lord had basically gave them some allies, as we're reading, And this is the Maccabees, man. This is what the Maccabees is about, man. It's being a rebel against the heathen, against the ways of the heathen, and keeping it real, keeping it true, and staying faithful, remaining faithful to Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai. All right. So I'm going to go ahead and close out on that. I'll do the second part of this chapter, Lord's will, tomorrow after camp. But I'm going to go ahead and close it out. I hope the lesson was edifying. I want to give all the praise, all the glory, all the honor unto Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai B'Shem Rakah Qudash. Double honors goes out to the other apostles of Great Millstone for teaching me the truth Also, I want to acknowledge all the Akyam who are pushing the truth with sincerity throughout the four corners of the earth. And Shalom to the elect. Shalom.